Hello, everyone. I'm Mariela Condorena. Thank you all for finding time and visiting today's webinar. Before we start, please remember to follow us on the social media, please, Angelita. Yeah, yes. Remember to follow us on Facebook, WhatsApp, YouTube, Google Site, and Twitter and TikTok, please. Now, before we start, let me explain how you can talk to us during the webinar. You have to consider these instructions. Please type your questions in the comment section. The answers to your questions and comments will be replied by our guest speaker at the end of the webinar in the question time section. And next, consider too that when finishing the webinar, we will share a link for you to have access to the exit ticket, which will be available for 15 minutes, teachers. Now it's time to know our guest speaker. Please, Miss Julia Millones Espinosa, can we help us with this, please?
Of course, Mariela, of course. Okay. Good evening, dear colleagues. Today we have another excellent webinar, and this time we have Mr. Michael Navarro. Michael is a passionate language teacher and teacher trainer who is constantly looking for ways to enhance his teaching skills. He has taken different methodology and training courses, ELT, TEFL, Train the Trainers, as well as international examinations such as TKT, CORE, TKT, CLIL, FCE. He is currently teaching adults and teenagers in a prestigious institute based in the USA. Michael regularly conducts trainers online by webinars and also helps educators embrace technology in their lessons. The topic of today is motivation. How to bring the spark back into your classroom? By the end of the session, teachers will be able to apply different one-ups and icebreaker into a digital teaching context. By the end of the session, teachers will be able to acquire different strategies and practical ideas that will allow them to enhance student motivation. Welcome, Michael Navarro.
Great. Thank you so much for such a lovely introduction. I really appreciate it. And it's been a while since I delivered a webinar. So I'm really excited about sharing a bit of my expertise regarding technology and how to teach online. So let's begin. Let's see. I will share my screen. Fantastic. And it was already mentioned, the way of interaction is going to be through the comment section. So let's do this first. What I would like you to do is to write in the comment section if you can all see me and you can all hear me properly. This is also one thing that I do before starting with my lessons, just to make sure that the students can understand or can listen to me properly and can see me without any problem. So let me know in the chat box or in the comment section if you're able to listen to me before we kick off the session. Let's see, I will read the comments here. Yes, good evening. Hello there. Yes, good evening, everyone. Excellent. Yes, fantastic. Very good. Okay. Nice. Yes, I can see Erica saying, yes, sure. Good afternoon. Very good. So you're able to listen to me and to hear me properly. That's good. Fantastic. Now, I always like to start my sessions with this picture. What I would like you to do is to write in the comment section, which of these pictures represent you best? You have 9 different doggies. I'm a big fan of dogs, by the way, and I would like you to write in the comment section which of these dogs represent you best. Number 1, number 2, number 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9? I want to know how my audience feels today. Let's see. So can you put the number, please, in the chat box? Nice. I can see number 4. Sari says number 4. Fantastic. Okay. I can see Luis. He says number 6. Very good. Okay. Number 2. Number 2. Okay. Excellent. I'm assuming that we might be tired, you know, and I'm really grateful to you because it means that you are investing your time and you want to change the face of education just by attending this webinar. And I really appreciate your effort and enthusiasm to come here. Very good. Nice. Nice. Excellent. So as you already know, the session is titled How to Bring the Spark Back into an Online Lesson. Now, as you know, by the end of the session, teachers will be able to apply different warm-ups and icebreakers into a digital teaching context. Now, we will also learn different strategies and practical ideas that will allow you to enhance student motivation, which is one of my favorite topics. Very good. Okay. So as you can see, there are 4 statements. What I would like you to do now is to write in the comment section, have you ever heard one of these comments? And do you agree with these statements or do you disagree with them? I will read it aloud for you. It says, I don't like teaching online. I'm just too old to be learning about technology. I only know how to teach in-person classes. I can't teach online. And it's impossible to build bonds with the students in a virtual class. So I would like to know your opinion about this. What are your thoughts? Do you agree with these statements? Do you disagree with those? And maybe you have heard these comments from your colleagues. So I would like to know more about you and see what your thoughts are. Let's see. Very good. Yes, Gertrude says, yes, I've heard them. Great, what about the others? Let's see. I disagree with these ideas, Elizabeth says. Very good, thanks, Elizabeth, for telling us that. Very good, I like to learn everything about my performance, Very good, Eric, and you will learn about it. Yes. Oh, Agus says, I disagree with those. I love teaching online. Excellent, fantastic. Nice. Yes, the reality is that, myself included, I used to say this the first time that I started teaching online. I used to believe that teaching online was a difficult task for me. And I was so frustrated to see that my students were not responding to my lessons. So I'm going to show you here some pictures. And as you can see, there are different types of students here. We have Ivan, we have Leandro, we have Mateo, and we have Franco. And then you have another picture below. So how do your students behave in your online lesson? Are they like Ivan? Maybe they are eager to participate and speak up in front of others. Or maybe they are like Mateo. Maybe they are, dozing off in the middle of the class. Or maybe they are like the lady below. Maybe your students multitask. Or maybe they simply don't want to turn on their cameras and they just don't say anything. So how do your students behave in this new mode of teaching? Let's see. Yes. Iber says, lol, it's typical. I think we all have a Mateo in our lessons, right? Yes. Actually, that happened to me in one class, right? Yes. What about you? You are Ivan, very good. I'm glad to hear that. Yes, I'm fairly sure that in my session, you're going to be like Ivan, right? Exactly, very good. Yes, okay, Lander says, most of them, they are shy to participate. They are different, indeed, they are. All of them, very good. So in today's session, we're going to learn how to make our students become active contributors in our classes. And I put this picture that is right here. Let me show you. Yes, actually, this is me delivering a lesson. And it was such a fantastic moment because most of my students, they were connected. They were with me in the class. Even though we're not physically together, I got the impression that my students were with me. They had their cameras on, they were able to participate. And this is what we're going to see today. How can I do that? How can I create an atmosphere where my students can participate and share their thoughts? So let's see. Great. I would like to start off by saying that studies have shown that students' attention is highest during the first 5 minutes of class. Yes. And something that we must consider, teachers, that when we start our lessons, we have to plan some focusing activities. Now, what is a focusing activity? A focusing activity is an activity whose purpose is to captivate the students' attention. We want our students to be ready. We want to catch our students' attention. We want to minimize disruption in class. And this is me actually, well, actually, I look like this teacher dancing in the physical class, right? And creating this good atmosphere with my students. But how can we replicate that into a digital teaching environment? So my question is, teachers, what activities can we apply to engage our pupils? Can you maybe write in the comment section, what activities do you apply with your students when you start your lesson, especially during the first 5 minutes? Do you even apply activities, or do you just start with the book? Like today, we're going to talk about the present continuous, and let's go to page 100 and let's begin with the 5 exercises. How do you start your lesson? Can you maybe write some ideas in the chat box, please? Feel free to do it. Excellent. Inspirational videos, motivational videos, very good. Fantastic. Games, stickers, very good, Fabiola. I'm glad to know that. Games, very good, Julissa. Nice, Rosemary. Fantastic. Songs, beautiful. Kahoot. Emotional support, pictures, songs, escape rooms, discover the treasures, breakout rooms, games, some games, warm-ups, very good. Riddles, online activities, videos, Padlet with the stickers. Amazing. Very good, teachers. Nice. The idea is to motivate at the beginning. Very good. Nice. And that is the purpose of a focusing activity. We must take advantage of these 5 minutes that we have in each lesson. We have to captivate our attention, our students' attention. It's like a hook, right? Very good. Nice, Cesar. Turning my camera and asking them how they feel and showing them a short video. Very good. What an interesting audience we have today. Mentimeter. Nice. Okay, very good. Nice. Songs. Famous artists. Tongue twisters. Oh my gosh, I love it. Use of gamification. Micro videos from Canvas. Love it. Excellent. Very good. Now, first things first. You're starting a new course, you're starting a new level, and we have to incorporate some icebreakers. Now, can I know the definition? What is the definition that you have about icebreakers? What is an icebreaker? Using your own words, what can you understand from icebreakers? What is it? And what is the purpose of icebreakers? How can it benefit us? Let's see. I'm going to show you some icebreakers in a moment. So let's see. Yes, very good. To break the ice. Absolutely. Yes, very good. Nice. Indeed. When you incorporate icebreakers into your classes, they are actually done at the beginning of a course, when you're starting a course, right? You want students to get to know each other. You want students to loosen up a little bit and be ready to start a conversation. One of my favorite icebreakers is called show and tell. As you can see, actually, these are real pictures from my students. Show and tell is an activity where my students are going to find an object that is meaningful and important for them. And they are going to show this item or object to the class. Last week, I found out that one of my students is an avid artist. I didn't know about it, but thanks to this activity, I could get to know more about my new student, right? And she showed me one of her paintings, as you can see. Now, below you have another student. She is actually showing me, she's actually showing me her baby's teeth. Yes, and she wanted to talk about her baby. So sweet, so sweet. So it was a good way to connect with the students, right? And of course, you can also use the breakout rooms in case you're using Zoom, and you can make students share their items with each other. And what is the result? This is the result, as you can see in the next picture. Students laughing, students having a good time, right? During the first day of class. So we have to focus on these things. These little things can make a massive difference. Just by doing this simple activity. Let's take advantage of remote teaching. Now, students are at home, they can show their objects, yet they can find their meaningful objects and items and show these items to the class. Let's take advantage of that, right? Now, maybe you are teaching elementary levels. So why not putting some sentence stems for them, right? So that you can make your students' lives less complicated, and so that they can feel more comfortable sharing their ideas. And this is something related to scaffolding. You don't start your session, or you don't start your activity by saying, okay, I want you to talk to your partner, find an item and do it. No. You need to be careful with instructions. You need to have some strategies, ICQs, which is a scaffolding strategy. You need to make sure that your students have understood your instructions. You need to provide your students with sentence stems so that they can feel more confident when speaking up, right? And of course, you can adapt this activity according to your students' level. This is one of my favorites. And as you can see, this is my family. Actually, in that picture, I look younger. Yes. And you can see my parents, you can see my sister. It's just my family, right? Yes, it's just a picture about myself. So my recommendation is to use these kind of pictures, visuals, so that your students can also get to know you and you can establish rapport with them. Let me explain how you can use this activity. So I put one picture about myself, and I'm going to put some words around the picture. As you can see the word Adele. You can see the word ring. You can see the word 10. And you can see the word Rosalia. Now, The question is, why did teacher Michael write these words? So can you, let's pretend that we are in a normal class. So why did I write these words, teachers? Can you maybe tell me what was the reason? Why did I write the word Adele? Who is Adele? Is she my girlfriend? Is she my best friend? Why did I write the word rain? Am I married? Who knows? Why did I write the word 10? My age? No, not my age. No. Maybe it's another reason. Why did I write the word Rosalia? So can you maybe write in the comment section, please? Can you make your predictions? So let's see. Why did I write these words? Sylvia says, Adele is your favorite singer. I like that guess. Very good. Let's see. Nice prediction, Sylvia. Yes. Yes, Adele is my favorite singer. What about the others? What about Ring? What about Rosalia? What about the number 10? Oh, fantastic. My sister is 10. Is 10 years old. Okay. Michael wrote Adele because yes, because Adele is his favorite artist. Very good. Okay. Wow. And you are right. Adele is my favorite singer, right? And it's a good way to create those connections. And maybe you can ask your students, and what about you? Who is your favorite singer? Right? So it's a good way to break the ice and start talking to your pupils. Okay, fantastic. Very good. So as you can see, Adele is my favorite singer. Now, who is Rosalia? Can you see it? Yes, you're right. Rosalia is my favorite teacher. As you can see, this is no, Rosalia is not my girlfriend. She's my favorite teacher. Great. Okay. Yes, as you can see, she is my favorite teacher. As you can see, that is a picture that was taken back in 2018 when I took my ELT course and I started teaching. Yes. So look at these teachers. It's a good way to get to know your students, but also to get to know me a little bit, right? Rosalia is his ex. Okay. Nice. Okay, fantastic. Very good. Okay. Yes. And as you can see, I also wrote the word ring because I'm just married to my job. I am not married, in fact. Yes, I really had a good time when I did this activity with my students because they always come up with different ideas, you know, funny ideas, right? Now, teacher, you're married. Or teacher, you're just married to your job, you know. So there were so many ideas which made the class really dynamic and engaging. And not because of me, but because of their ideas, right? Very good. Fantastic. Yes. And why 10, teacher? Because I work 10 hours a day. Yes. And even you can, if you're practicing adjectives, maybe you can elicit some vocabulary. How do you call a person who likes to work a lot? Oh, teacher, hardworking. So you can elicit some vocabulary from it. Okay, fantastic. Yes. Great. Excellent. Nice. Very good. Excellent ideas. Thanks for your lovely comments. Great. So let's continue. Those are the icebreakers. And this is something that we should consider when we start again a course, a new level. But what else can we include? And this is something that you mentioned in the comment section. In order to motivate my students, I include warm-ups. Now, before I give you my ideas, I would like to know what warm-ups you apply or you use in your online lessons. So can you maybe write some ideas in the chat box, please, or in the comment section? What warm-ups do you use in your classes? Let's see. Remember that the chat box is like the back channel that we use while I am giving, while I am talking. You can write all your ideas there, and it's a good way to share all these teaching ideas and excellent activities with the community. So I encourage you to write as much as you can. Let's see. Nice. Let's see what ideas you have. Oh yes, we have bingos, wordwall games. Fantastic, I love it. Wordwall. Great. Nice. Graphic organizers. Very good. Very good, teacher Tona. Nice. Oh, some kinesthetic activities. Maybe Simon says like, Simon says jump. Simon says stand up. Fantastic, very good. Nice. Excellent, Viviana. A warm-up is not necessarily connected to the theme of the lesson. You are completely right. As you can see, a warm-up is a preparatory stage, which helps the students to feel more relaxed and also sets a positive mood for learning. You can put your students into English mode, right? And it's usually a short activity that is not necessarily connected to the lesson, and it's used at the beginning of the lesson. Great. Fantastic, very good. Games, brainstorming, debates, and much more. Nice. Great, nice. So let's see. So this is one warm-up that I like to use at the beginning, and you actually witnessed this because I used this feeling scale with you, a similar one with you. Yes. So basically you have some pictures, and you can easily type in Google feeling scales, and you're going to find so many feeling scales that are free to download or easy to use. Just copy and paste it from Pinterest, right? This is one that I used with my students. They are teenagers and adults. And it was so much fun. Yes, they could actually relate to one of these pictures. And we were even talking about famous artists and street artists. So like Banksy, one of my students started to talk about Banksy, who is a famous street painter, right? And he was telling us more about him. I didn't know him, to be honest, but thanks to this simple picture, I was able to know more about my student and to know more about Banksy, right? Great. Now, if you're teaching in this case young learners, maybe you can show this picture to them. You can show here Pixar characters, right, or Disney characters in this case, right? And you can ask them how they feel today. I have done it in class because I also teach young learners. Not as often as before, but I still teach them. And it is nice to see their reactions and to see their faces, their facial expressions when they see their famous characters in this picture. So my point is that you can adapt these simple feeling scales to your lessons and according to the age of your students. What do you think about it? Let's see, let's read the comments. Very good. Yes. Nice. We can use immerses. We can use different activities to get the attention of our students. Absolutely. Yes. Feeling scales. Great idea. Absolutely, Cesar. Yes. Very good. Nice. Nice. Yes. Very good. Okay. Nice. Excellent. Fantastic. So let me continue here. Now, let me know in the comment section if you have used this activity with your students. This is related to brain gym. I saw this activity in one webinar, and I really enjoyed the activity. And since then, I started to incorporate this activity into my lessons. So let me know if you have used this before. Let's see. Have you ever used this activity with your students? Let's see. Nice pictures, interesting. Yes, absolutely. Thanks for your lovely comments. Nice. Very good. Excellent. So let me explain to you how this activity works. So this is how I work with this picture. So basically, first I elicit some vocabulary. As you can see, I used this a few months ago and I was about to teach colors, but some students already know some colors, right? So it was a good way to start my lesson. So I started to elicit, what colors can you see here? Oh, teacher, yellow, orange, green, and we started to elicit first, right? So that I can make sure that everyone is familiar with the colors in my class. Because now we're teaching mixed ability classes. We don't know the level of our students, regardless of the topic that we have. And then once they are ready, I ask one student to read the instructions. So what I would like you to do in this case is to say the color, but not the word. Let's repeat it one more time. Okay, teacher, say the color, not the word. So if I ask you, teachers, what is the color in this case? Look at the first word. What is the color? Let's see. Very good. Let's practice, of course. Can you tell me what is the first color in this case of the first word? And of course, you're going to see your students saying yellow. Very good. Emily, fantastic. Nice, Viviana. Excellent. Yellow. And then you continue to make sure that everyone has understood. Okay, yellow, then teacher, red, and then green. Fantastic. You are ready. You already got the hand of the activity. And can I choose a volunteer here from the admin team? Is there someone who would like to volunteer? Maybe, I don't know, Angela, Mariela, Julia, Pamela? Is there someone who would like to volunteer in this fun activity? Let's see. Anyone who would like to help me? Let's see. I don't know, let's see. Shall we maybe go with Angela? Would you like to help me here? Perhaps? So that we can do this activity together? Let's see. Let's see.
Yeah, yes, Michael.
Okay, fantastic. So what I would like you to do in this case, Mariela, is to say the colors of each of these words, but not the word. Okay. Now, in this case, you're going to have a challenge. I'm going to put a timer here. You are going to have 30 seconds to do this. Okay. Fantastic.
Yeah.
So let's do it in 1, 2, 3. Go ahead, Marilita.
Yellow, red, green, purple, light blue, orange, purple, yellow, black, red, purple, light blue, yellow, black, green, light blue, red, and purple.
Fantastic, very good.
Yeah.
Nice. And the challenge was good as well. You see, excellent. So what an excellent way to challenge your students a little bit using a timer, right? So by doing this, you create this friendly competition that we should have in class, right? And it's a nice way. For example, I used to apply this activity all the time, but then I thought I should include maybe a timer to make this activity a bit challenging for my students. And it worked perfectly fine. So that is another way of adding a bit of a challenge to your activities, right? And include gamification as well. Some of the teachers were talking about gamification, which I'm really passionate about. And yes, putting challenge to students is a nice way to increase motivation. Nice. Okay. Excellent. Now, let's see. I can see very good. I can see Carito, I can see Sarai, Sarai Otiniano, and all the others writing their ideas in the chat box. Very good. Yellow, red, green, purple. Fantastic. Well done. Lovely. Lovely. Nice. Excellent. Now, I could also see in the chat box, you were talking about tongue twisters, right? First of all, let's define what a tongue twister is. So a tongue twister is defined as a phrase or sentence that is hard to speak fast, usually because of alliteration or a sequence of nearly similar sounds. Great. And they are usually difficult to pronounce quickly and correctly. But with practice, your students will enjoy this activity instead of getting frustrated. Now, let me know in the chat box with a yes or no if you have used, not seen, but if you have used tongue twisters in your lessons, and what are the benefits of using tongue twisters? Can you let me know in the chat box, please? Let's see. Have you ever used tongue twisters in your lessons? Let's see. And what are the benefits? What are the advantages of using tongue twisters in your classes? Nice, Ari. Yes, at the university. Fantastic. I'm glad to know that. Let's see. Not yet. No worries, Lander. I'm fairly sure you will use this activity next week. I promise you will. Eric, no. Fantastic. Nice. Very good. One of the benefits is that students can improve their pronunciation. Absolutely. You can learn new vocabulary. I couldn't agree more. Yes. What else, teachers? It's useful to increase and to practice pronunciation, fluency, pronunciation, cohesion. Absolutely, sorry. Nice. Students learn new vocabulary. Yes, very good. So I'm going to show you some of the tongue twisters that I have used in class successfully. Let's see if you can try these tongue twisters out with your students. Let's see. Okay. So this is one of my favorites. First, because there are some words that my students might not be familiar with. So first, before starting with the tongue twister, you have to in this case, you have to practice pronunciation with them. And we as teachers, we know what words might be difficult for our students. We might pre-teach maybe some of these words. And we might model these words for them before starting with the activity. You don't want to terrify the student. You want to make the student feel comfortable and confident about their language skills, right? Okay, so let's see. So this is what I do. If you're teaching through Zoom, what I usually do is the annotation tool. I encircle first the words that might be new for the students, or that may be some words that might be mispronounced by students. Okay, for example, here, students, what is that pronunciation of this? And then my students can tell me, teacher, bought, or teacher, bought. So if you spot a mistake, you need to model it. That is your opportunity, so that the student can feel more confident. And what about this word? How do you pronounce it? Teacher, butter, butter. No, it's not butter. Teacher, butter. Okay, fantastic. Can we repeat it together? Butter, butter. And you start practicing pronunciation with your students first, before they start reading the tongue twister. That is important to know. Okay, once they get familiar with the words, maybe you as a teacher, you want to try first. Okay, so students, what I would like you to do is to listen to me. Listen and relax. Don't repeat yet, just listen. What are you going to do? Are you going to read the words now? No, teacher, only listen. Fantastic. ICQs, you are making sure that everyone has understood your instructions. Yes. And then you start, okay, Betty bought some butter, but she said that butter is bitter. If I put it in my butter, it will make my butter bitter. But a bit of better butter, that would make my butter better. Exhausting. Great. Of course, you're going to pronounce it or read the tongue twister slowly first, depending on the level of your students, right? And then you can nominate, right? Then you can nominate some teachers or some students in this case, right? And they can start doing the exercise, right? So it's a nice way to practice, as you said, pronunciation, fluency, and all the aspects that you mentioned in the chat box. Nice. Great. Let's see. Let's move on here. Now, teacher, you know something? I found the first tongue twister a bit complicated. What about beginners? You can, in this case, find some tongue twisters that might be appropriate according to your student's level, like this one. One of the first words that we teach is classroom language. Can you understand that? Or we model this. So the students already know the pronunciation of understand. They already know how to pronounce don't. And well, if as well, and but. So it's a good way to practice first pronunciation, and then the students can do it. But this is a simple tongue twister that you can try out in your class. Let's do it, okay? And I encourage you to do it as well. I know I cannot see you, but I want to believe that you're practicing with me these amazing tongue twisters, okay? So let's do it. If you understand, say understand. If you don't understand, say don't understand. But if you understand and say don't understand, how do I understand that you understand? Understand? So it's a nice way to practice basic words, but students are going to have a blast when they start doing these tongue twisters. They are going to laugh, they are going to mix up words, but it's going to be fine because you are not focusing on accuracy here. I mean, it's a good way to practice pronunciation properly, but you also want students to feel comfortable using the language. They might make some mistakes. That's perfect. You help them in a good way. And then they start over if they are struggling, right? So these activities, as you said, for fluency, I don't want you to criticize your students if they mispronounce a word. Model it. We have to be diplomatic when we deliver feedback, right? In a tactful way, in a subtle way, but we are helping them to improve their pronunciation. So what do you think about this tongue twister? You can use it with your elementary students, right? Nice. Thanks, Carmen. Thanks for your comment. I use songs. Very good. Sure, they will love it. Fantastic. Yes. Okay. Excellent. Nice. Great. Let's see. Great. We have talked about warm-ups. We know that a warm-up is used at the beginning of a lesson, and that is not necessarily connected to the learning outcomes or to the topic. But what about lead-ins? So let's focus here. I have some amazing lead-ins that I found on the internet and that I have personally used. But let's define first, and let's look at the differences between a lead-in and a warm-up. So a lead-in introduces the theme of the lesson. As you can see here, while warmers are not necessarily related to the topic of the lesson, lead-ins introduce the topic of the lesson. So they are connected to the lesson. They are connected to the topic that you are going to present or you are going to teach. So that is the main difference between a warm-up and a lead-in here. One of my favorites. And you can actually use it as a warm-up as well, but I used this picture as a lead-in, and you will see why. I was about to teach conditionals. I said, okay, these ideas might look, I mean, these ideas are not real at all. So it's a good opportunity to teach second conditionals, to talk about hypothetical situations, right? And I created one question for my students, like, which of these pills would you have? If you had the chance to choose one of these pills, which of these pills would you pick or would you have? And I was not even teaching conditionals. I just created, you know, this activity, and the students were like, okay, and they started to give me their ideas. If I had to choose one power or one of these pills, I would pick, or I would choose the first one or the second one, or I would speak every language because, and then they add the reason, right? So it's a good way to practice or develop fluency. It's a good way to introduce conditionals. And let's see. I would like to know now, teachers, which of these pills would you have? Can you maybe write in the chat box using the structure here, because that is a lead-in. I want to present the conditional here. Can you maybe write in the chat box, if I had to choose one power, I would, and then you choose your own pill. Feel free to write your opinion in the chat box. I'm interested in receiving your ideas. Let's see. Nice, very good. Erica says, Teacher Michael, if I had to choose one power, I would fly anytime. Nice, absolutely. Yes, very good. And then, you know, I always encourage my students to justify their opinions, right? So they have to give you the reason. Why? And why you didn't choose the first one? Why not? Why did you choose that one and why not the other? So always ask these questions. And maybe if you don't have the breakout rooms, you can ask your students to read the question and ask one of their partners, right? So it's a good way to practice questions. It's a good way to establish rapport, not only with the teacher, but also among students, right? Nice. Very good. Nice, nice, fantastic. Great. Oh, Ariel says, I would like to know the name of the app, Michael, that you use to make drawings during this presentation. We are using Zoom, the annotation tools. Yes, in Zoom you can find those features to draw and to annotate and text as well. Nice, very good. Erica has justified her opinion. Well done, Erica. Yes, if I had to choose one power, I would fly anytime because I will feel free and I would appreciate the landscapes of the world. Nice. Nice, Cesar. Cesar said, if I had to choose one power, I would definitely speak every language because I could travel anywhere. Nice. Very good. Fantastic. Do you want to know my choice? So in my case, teachers, you know that we are living during this pandemic and we might be running out of money. So if I had to choose one power, I would own a limitless card because I could have the chance to travel abroad, because I could buy a new house, buy a car, get all or pay for more teaching courses, maybe, right? Okay, nice. Fantastic, very good. I'm really glad that you enjoyed these ideas. Excellent. So can I move on? Let's see. Oh, Felix added another idea. If I had to choose one power, I would choose fly anytime, anywhere as well. That looks like the popular option. Yes, because I would fly somewhere when I feel stressed. That's true, Felix. That's true. Fantastic. Could I choose to, if you want, you can do it, Ana Maria, why not? Great. Okay, the next activity that I'm going to show you is choose your quarantine house. This is one picture that I found on Pinterest. I'm a big fan of Pinterest, and you can find amazing pictures over there, and they are free to copy and download. Now, this is one picture that caught my attention. I'm teaching to students who come from different backgrounds. I have students who are from Brazil, who are from Japan, and they are not from Peru, actually. So it was a bit complicated to find this picture because I didn't have the chance, or I couldn't have put, for example, house 1, Susi Diaz, Tongo, or house 2, Magali, or any other. So I could not put, famous artists of La Farándula, right? So I found this picture that is about famous artists, and at least we are familiar with most of them or some of them, right? And again, I used this activity to practice conditionals with a different class. And I created a situation here, right? And I put, imagine you had to live in one of these houses during quarantine. Which house would you choose and why? My students got extremely fascinated when they saw their favorite singers and actors, actresses over there. Can I know your opinion? If you had the chance to live in one of these houses during quarantine, which house would you choose and why? I have my opinion in my mind already, but I would like to know your choices. So let me know, teachers, which of these houses would you choose and why? Remember that you're going to live with these people during quarantine. Oh, really? The letters are too small. No problem. Now I guess it's much better. Let's see. So I would like to know your opinions, teachers. Let's see. Which of these houses would you choose? House number 1, house number 2, house number 3, house number 4, 5. Nice. Fantastic, Cesar. Look at that amazing idea that Cesar put in the comment section. Teacher, if I had to choose one of these houses, I would choose house number 5. Why? Because I could ask J-Lo to teach me how to dance. Nice. That is a nice reason, Cesar. I couldn't agree more. Okay, fantastic. Very good. I would love house number 2. Nice. Okay, I would choose house number 3 because Taylor Swift is my favorite singer. Nice, Fabiola, very good. Excellent. Yes. Okay, there you are. Yes. In my case, teachers, if I had the chance to choose one of these houses, I would pick house number 5 because of J-Lo. Yes, I love J-Lo. And also because of Gordon Ramsay. You know Gordon Ramsay. Gordon Ramsay is a famous chef. And, you know, we are Peruvians, or most of us are Peruvians, and we all like to eat food. So imagine how many dishes I could try thanks to Gordon Ramsay. So look at this, and then your students will be captivated with this activity. They want to talk, they want to express their ideas. And if you want, if you have maybe a large class, you can send your students to the breakout rooms and they can discuss in pairs or in groups, right? My recommendation is that you can create groups of 3, right? Sometimes when you create groups of 2, there is always one student who might have problems with the internet or internet issues, and you know, they might not work properly. So I always create personally, there is a suggestion, I always create 3 or groups of 3 in this case, when I have large classes, right? Yes. Nice. Nice, very good. I can see that Elizabeth said, I would choose house number 5 because Jennifer Lopez is my favorite singer and Jennifer Aniston is a good actress. Nice, very good. Great. I would choose number 2 because I love Tarantino's movies. Okay, fantastic. Excellent. House number 4, house number 6, Dr. Phil. Excellent. Nice. Nice. Okay. So another activity that you can try is this. Last month, I attended a webinar about emotional health. And, you know, sometimes the students feel, or they are not mentally stable because of the circumstances that we're living in. So one of the activities that I like to use to cheer them up a little bit is this. Top 3 things you want to do when this is over, right? And as you can see, I put some pictures about me with my giving training sessions or attending some training sessions, for example, a long time ago, you know, having a party with my friends, and of course, a nice picture that I put there about 2 lions hugging each other, right? So you can tell your students, think about, you know, think about the activities that you would like to do as soon as pandemic ends or when this is over, right? And you can practice maybe gerunds. You can practice infinitives. Teacher, I want to, as you can see, I made this activity into a lead-in because the focus here was to present gerunds on infinitives. So I created some sentences like, I want to do this because I enjoy doing something else, right? So it was a nice way to begin the class with this activity. They were fascinated, and the students, started to share all the things that they would like to do when pandemic is over, right? In my case, my top 3 is this. As soon as this pandemic is over, I want to hug everyone, right? I would like to hug everyone. Yes, I love hugging. I love hugging, even to strangers. And yes, it's something that I like doing, right? What else? I would like to, in this case, to go out with the teachers, with colleagues, with my parents who live far away from my house, right? Because I enjoy spending time with them, for example. So just by doing this simple activity, you can make the student produce a lot of language. And so on, and you continue with the pictures. So I would like to know, teachers, your top 3 activities or 3 things you want to do or you would like to do as soon as this is over. Nice, very good. Stephanie said, as soon as this is over, I want to go shopping. Yes, me too, Stephanie. Yes, absolutely. Magali says, I want to dance or just visit to my favorite person. Fantastic. Great. Nice. Excellent. What else, teachers? What else would you like to do as soon as this pandemic is over? Sari says, I want to sing and dance salsa. Such a nice idea, Sari. Very good. Lander says, I would like to fight with my classmates. Okay, great. Let's see, what else? What other ideas we have? I want to meet my students personally. Yes, I also want to do that. I want to meet the teachers that I have been training, like face-to-face, to see them again in a future training session, right? And to interact, to take selfies, pictures. I miss that social interaction, to be honest. Eat out with all my students, sing karaoke, go to the cinema. Nice. Yes. Okay. Fantastic. Excellent. There you are. You see how the ideas just flow when you show them a model, when you show your own pictures. The students feel more relaxed when you do that. Excellent. Nice. Okay. Now, let's see. We have talked about lead-ins, we have talked about warm-ups, we have talked about icebreakers, but it's time to talk about coolers. Last week, I read an article, and I couldn't agree more. In this article, one teacher stated that a warm-up is like your introduction in your essay, and a cooler is like your conclusion. And I wholeheartedly agree with it. It's how you present your content, right? We talk about focusing activities and the first 5 minutes that you have to focus on, right? But sometimes we take coolers for granted. So we should start adding more cooler activities into our lessons. But what is a cooler? Let's see. A cooler is a quick activity used towards the end of a class, usually, not always, to recap on vocabulary or other language items brought up during the lesson. So it's how you wrap up your class, in other words. Yes. So you use it just to recap what you have learned. Maybe you want to ask your students some reflective questions so that they can reflect upon their learning. So let's see some suggestions that I have for you. If you're teaching young learners, maybe you can incorporate this activity. Simon says, yes, we can also use it in that remote session, just to finish, the class. Simon says in this case, stand up. Simon says, tell me 2 words that we learned today. Simon says, what is your favorite, or what was your favorite part of the lesson, right? Now, something that I always carry with me is this. I love using puppets in my classes. It doesn't matter if I am teaching adults or young learners, I use them. And yes, in this case, my students respond well to my lessons when I use my puppets, right? Because it's not the teacher who is talking, it's the puppet who is talking, right? So it's another way of, of creating a good environment, and also to motivate your student to talk a bit more, right? Fantastic. One of my favorite activities as well is called exit ticket. Have you heard about the exit ticket? Have you used exit tickets in your lessons? Can you maybe tell me in the chat box, what is an exit ticket? With your own words, what is an exit ticket? Have you used exit tickets in the chat box? Okay, nice, very good. Absolutely. No, no, I didn't say I want to. No, I didn't say that. You got me wrong there. Yeah. Yes. Yes, an exit ticket. It's a way of. It's a way of in this case of evaluating your students, right? It's a way of saying 3 things that you learned today, 2 things that you found interesting, and 1 question that I still have. Exactly, some questions that you evaluate, exactly, questions that evaluates what you learned in that session. Yes. Very good, Jung. Used to gauge their understanding of the lesson and to enforce interaction. Nice. Exactly. Yes, it's like an evaluation. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes. Absolutely. Very good. Nice. Evaluation. Fantastic. Yes. Nice. Excellent. Nice. So that is an exit ticket. I am going to show you. Let me show you here. I am going to show you an example of an exit ticket that I always use in my classes. Let's see. Okay. So in this case, teachers, I have created an exit ticket. Here we have around 8 questions. And what I always ask my students is to choose at least 2 of these questions here. For example, a random question that we have is, what was your favorite part of the lesson, right? So the students need to answer that question, right? What are your goals for tomorrow? That is another question that I like asking to my students. Yes, very good, Wendy, you got it. Word wall, absolutely, word wall, very good. Yes. Then challenge, what was the hardest thing you had to do today? So it's a good way to verify if your students have really understood your class, right? Absolutely. Did any of your classmates do anything funny? And so on. And you start, delivering or answering or nominating students to answer these questions, right? Yes. So let me show you all the questions that I ask to my students. And maybe you can add some questions in your future exit ticket, right? Nice. Let's see. Let's see here. Yes. So that is a nice way to wrap up the class, right? So that is one cooler that I always use in my lessons. Very good. So feel free to include one of these questions in your future session. I'm fairly sure your students are going to get into the habit of reflecting on their learning. Yes. I must admit that the first time that I did this, the students were a bit reluctant to participate. But once they get into it, once I start promoting this activity, as a routine, they will enjoy sharing the reflections with you. And you will see amazing answers. Exactly. Nice. Yes, absolutely. Gertrudis, can you share with us your Wordle, please? Absolutely, I will share it. Yes, I will. As soon as the webinar ends, I might be able to share it. Yep. Nice. Great. Excellent. Now, another thing that we must consider, and that I always like using in my classes, is called quotes. Quotes are amazing, and they make students reflect and develop their critical thinking skills, right? We as teachers know what this means. Tell me and I forget. Teach me and I may remember. Involve me and I learn. But what about the students? And this is a good way to promote visual literacy. Visual literacy is a skill that students need, or it's the ability to understand pictures. And not only to understand, but to create pictures too. And that is a nice way of promoting a little bit of that. And also to promote critical thinking. What is Benjamin Franklin trying to say? Tell me and I forget, teach me and I may remember, involve me and I learn. And you can make students discuss those questions. Great. Nice. Let's see. Okay, fantastic. Very good. Nice. Excellent. So, and similar to this quote, there are so many quotes that you can find in Google. Okay. And in my case, I was wrapping up the class with this quote because we talk about education. So it was a nice way to finish the lesson, and the students left the class with satisfaction because they all shared their ideas. They were able to share their thoughts about this. Yes. Great. Nice. Absolutely, very good. Great, fantastic. Nice. Okay, what do you think about that? Can you think of other ways on working with this quote, or maybe on using quotes? Exactly, absolutely, Carlos. It makes learners. It makes learners reflect. Yeah, exactly. They reflect a lot. Absolutely. Nice, nice, fantastic. Yes. Great quote. Thanks for that. Thanks, Wendy, for such a positive comment. Great closure. Absolutely, you through this. You can use it in your lessons. Let me know. Try this, teachers, because we as educators know what this means. But what about the students, right? So it's time to promote a bit of critical thinking in your classes. Last but not least, you told me that you introduced your or you start your lessons with a video. But what about ending your lessons with a video? So I have a task for you in this case. And the task says, how could you use this video in your class? I am going to play this video. And what I would like you to do, teachers, is to write in the comment section, how could you use this video in your classes? Okay, let's use the back channel. Let's use the chat box in this case, so that you can write your ideas there. How could you use this video? I am going to play the video in a moment, and you're going to tell me how you could use this video, okay? Are we ready? Let's see. Let me play the video. Okay. Okay. First, give me some seconds. Okay. Remember your question, how could you use this video in your classes? Okay. The video is called English for Beginners. Let's see. It's a video that I found on the internet, and actually many educators have used this video in their lessons. Yeah, let's see.
English for Beginners. I am, you are, he, she, it is. I am, you are, he, she, it is. Robert. I am. Hi. Can you show me the way to the beach?
Towel,
Breakfast.
fork, knife, bread.
I love you. You are perfect.
I'm gonna fucking kill you.
I'm gonna fucking kill you. I love you. You are perfect.
I thank you. Suitcase. Slippers. Toothbrush. Passport. Pyjamas. Be good dog. Hi, I am. Hi, I am.
Passengers on flight Aerolíneas Argentina.
Hi, I am your grandpa.
Okay. All right. So I would like to read the comment section and let's see what ideas you have about this. Yes, Sophia said, teacher, I saw the video, very sweet. Absolutely. Yes, yes. Yes, when I work with videos, I work with questions and complete sentences. Fantastic. Yes, we have other ways of working with videos. Very good. Yes. Nice, nice, excellent. Yes, absolutely. Yes, of course, I'm going to share the link of the video. I will put it in the chat box and then English Teachers with Peru will be sharing that with you. Okay. Yes. Fantastic. Yes. So what a fantastic video, right? I can see some questions there. Yes, Soledad said that she felt really emotional. The first time I watched this video, I felt emotional as well. And my students as well. Today I put this video, Father's Day is coming, and my students felt, you know, really emotional, but it was also a good way to promote study skills. I ask my students questions like, what did the person do in order to practice English or in order to improve his English skills? Teacher, he used different sticky notes, right? And he also listened to music while he was commuting. And he also, you know, he was also listening to music, repeating, and, you know, all the ideas that they had. And then I ask my students today, I ask them, okay, next class, you have to answer this question. Why are you learning English? What is your purpose? Why are you here, right? And by doing that, you know, I am promoting a bit of, you know, I am promoting, you know, this safe environment. I am promoting a positive attitude towards the language, right? Exactly. And what an amazing way to wrap up the class. Yes, absolutely. Great, fantastic. So yes, you can use this video if you want to show to the students some qualities like perseverance, like effort, like hard work pays off, you know, because at the end, as you could see, Grandpa was able to talk to his grandson, right? So what a beautiful video. we have just had. Nice. Okay. Now, and just to finish with this session, I would like to finish, now that we talk about coolers, I would like to finish with this cooler activity with another quote. And I want you to read it individually. And I want you to tell me what your thoughts are. Yes, fantastic. Nice, nice. So I will read it aloud. It says, our job is not to prepare students for something. Our job is to help students prepare themselves for anything. What do you think about it? Yes. Yes, thanks to you, Carlos. Yes, thanks, Maria, for such motivating words. Nice. Fantastic, very good. Absolutely. A teacher, an effective teacher, is a person who not only exhibits expertise in the subject matter, but it's a person who inspires others in all aspects of their lives. Now, in this era, we are not only teaching a language. I teach my students to be humans. I teach my students life skills. At the end of the day, they will have to deal with different challenges that they might face in their lives at some point. So I hope this quote gave you food for thought. And it's a nice way to reflect upon our teaching, right? And all what I would like to say is this, give me just a moment. Let's see. I would like to say that today you did such a great job. I really enjoyed having this webinar with you. I enjoyed your enthusiasm. Thanks for being so supportive, for writing your ideas in the chat box. And yeah, thank you so much. You deserve a round of applause. And let me put this round of applause now. Let's see. Yes, thank you so much.
Sorry, thank you so much, dear Michael, for this amazing presentation. Yeah, you're right. I think that Miss Erica says we're not robots, we are humans, and relationships are the key to be a good teacher. Yeah. Now, dear Michael, we already have a few questions. Miss Angela Salazar, can you read the questions for Mr. Navarro, please? Angela, are you there? I guess that Angela has some problems with her internet connection. I don't know if she's there. Angelita, can you hear me? No, she's not here. Yeah, no worries. A minute, please, dear Michael.
Okay, it's okay.
I'm going to share. Okay, now we can read the comments. Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Some comments. We heard some comments and some questions. Maybe we can read it. For example, María Angélica Guerra Alba says, It is to empower our students to face the hard situations. What do you think about it, Michael?
Yes, I couldn't agree more with that, especially now that it's difficult, you know, to interact with the students nowadays. But today, I think we proved that that everything is possible, and that we can connect with our students regardless of where we are. It doesn't matter if we're teaching, you know, online or face to face. There is only a way to, you know, to help our students now. And what I'm doing now, I focus a lot on emotional health. Students need it. Students need emotional health right now. And just by creating a welcoming atmosphere where they can feel comfortable sharing their opinions, they can feel motivated to speak up without feeling criticized. If we accomplish that, we are doing our job, right? And yes, I agree with that comment. Mm-hmm.
Yes, you're right. I agree with you. And we have here another comment from Cesar Rivero.
Mm-hmm.
No matter how old you are, you learn new things always.
Beautiful. Yes, I believe in that. You know, I train teachers who want to make use of digital tools. And the first time that I trained these teachers, they were so frustrated. They were even bursting into tears because they told me, teacher, I cannot deliver an online session because I am too old to do that. And then, you know, with these webinars, with the sessions, with a bit of motivation coming from the teacher, I can see that now teachers are more comfortable using digital tools, and even they are even experts in using these digital resources, right? And I feel grateful, you know, to all these community who have been sharing, you know, their ideas, their thoughts. And yes, I agree. It doesn't matter how old and how young you are, you just have to do your best, right? And carry on, and everything is possible. And we have made it, you know, 21, and we continue learning, right? Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yes, you're right, Michael. So Carlos Cuyi Pariachi says, how to help to develop students more metacognition emotionally.
Mm-hmm. Okay, yes. Metacognition, would you mind repeating again, Mariela? Yes.
Yeah, he says how to help, I suppose how to help our students to develop students more metacognition and emotionally, I suppose, their feelings. I'm not sure. But I suppose that to work metacognition with our students.
Yeah, probably metacognition and emotional support. I will share my screen. Maybe I can share some activities that might be of great help so that teacher can apply these activities. Okay, yeah. So for example, we talk about a good way of developing metacognition is by using the exit tickets that I showed. I will share them as well. Let's see. So I always ask my students to reflect, as I said, on their learning, right? Let me show you here some activities that might be of great help. Let's see. I have here some exit tickets.
Okay.
Let's see. They are Padlet. Okay, let me put it here. Yes, I create, for example, different strategies like, let's see. Oh, I cannot open it. Okay, now I found the link. Let's see. Yes. For example, if we want to focus on metacognition and emotional health, what I do personally, right, this is just a suggestion. I create different exit tickets about certain topics. For example, this one is one that I used on Padlet. I created these 3 questions. What part of the lesson did you find appealing? The top 3 ideas I remember from today's lesson are, and what other topics, for example, would you like to learn in a future session, right? So by doing so, I am collecting data from my students, and I can personalize my classes. They can also improve the reflective skills, and they know how to learn a language properly, right? I also teach my students some strategies on how they can learn a language. For example, with the video that we just saw today, they were able to learn different study skills, taking notes, turning taking skills, right? Listening skills, you know, how to how they can immerse themselves in the language, right?
Okay, Michael, excellent. Thank you so much. Michael, as you know, we have intrinsic and extrinsic motivation.
Yes.
And it's so difficult to practice or to get intrinsic motivation with our students. Do you know, or can you say some strategy? I don't know, some example,
Yes.
or maybe your teaching experience about how can we get to develop extrinsic motivation with our students?
That's a beautiful question. Thanks for asking that. And yes, first let's clarify that intrinsic motivation comes from the inside, right? Like the student, in this case, we're talking about English. So the student wants to learn English, but there is no reward there. He wants to study without a reward. That is intrinsic motivation. They are intrinsically motivated. They just want to learn the language because they are passionate about that, right? So how can we promote a bit of that? Now, with these warm-ups, with these icebreakers that I have incorporated in class, they find the purpose, right? They find their own purpose. Why? And I'm studying English. And the beauty of these icebreakers and warm-ups is that they change their minds about English. I've had some students who are constantly telling me, like, teacher, I will never learn English. But after I have created this atmosphere of mutual respect, after I have incorporated all the activities that we have done in class, they get so excited. They even send me emails. You know, something that I found really useful is the first day of class, I always send my students an email.
Oh.
I am introducing myself. I am talking about myself, like what I like to do, what are my hobbies, what I like to do in my free time, why did I learn English, why did I become a teacher, and some extra information according to the level of my students, right? And they have to reply to me, right? Of course, I am not evaluating them, but it's about the needs analysis. I am getting to know my students, right? I can see that, for example, Alberto likes video games. So what about incorporating gamification in your class? What about maybe talking about games or include a topic related to games as a warm-up, right? So personalization is vital when we want to increase students' motivation. And another thing that I would like to show here is I always have a roulette. Let me share this resource with the teachers. And for example, here, the students get excited when they see their names here. For example, I might put Mariela, Julia, Pamela, and so on. And when I want some volunteers, I use this roulette. I spin the roulette. And it's a different way to nominate the students. And it's another way to make students focus on the activity. Okay, maybe I might be the next volunteer. So I have to, yeah. So let me copy, let me share this resource in the chat. And I would like to share this one that is about gamification. Many teachers talk about it. Let's see. Yes. This is one resource
great.
that I used, that I always use actually in my classes.
Parts of face?
Yeah, actually I put my picture here and it's called Dress the Teacher, right? So if a student, it doesn't matter if the question is correct or incorrect, but if a student participates, right? And he or she gives me, a proper answer, he has the chance to choose one item and put it into my face, right?
Oh,
Right?
yeah, great.
So it's a nice way to promote participation in class because the
And
students
motivation too, yeah, yes.
well, the students want to see their teacher in
And
a
they
silly
get
way.
engaged. Yeah,
Yes.
yes.
Yes, like
Okay,
with the
good.
nose and so
Good
on.
strategies there, Michael. Thank you so much.
Mhm.
It was a great presentation, as usual. I know. Thank you, Michael, again. Te pedimos que nos acompañes ahora, Michael, unos minutitos más, por favor, para poder despedir junto a ti este excelente webinar. Vamos a pasar ahora con la siguiente parte, muy importante. Tenemos aquí el Exit Ticket. Miss Pamela nos ayuda a compartir el Exit Ticket para dar las instrucciones claras, por favor.
Claro que sí, Miss Mariela. Buenas noches con todos. Gracias por estar aquí en este interesante webinar. Thank you so much, dear teacher. It was really nice. It was a really nice presentation, as always, as usually. Well, this is the exit ticket. Remember that this will be available for only 15 minutes. I'm going to spell it in Spanish to make it easier to understand or to remember. HTTPS, dos puntos, doble slash, CUTT, punto, L, Y, o Y, slash, con mayúsculas, T, la I minúscula, la P mayúscula de English Teachers in Peru, ETiP, 4TH, ¿no? Because this is our fourth webinar, ¿no? Porque es nuestro cuarto webinar. Ahí lo tienen, recuerden escribir bien sus nombres, sus datos, responder las preguntas que vienen acerca de la presentación que hemos tenido hoy. Y pues a llenarlo, porque solamente son 15 minutos que tenemos para ello. Y ahora, ahí va a estar en pantalla, ¿verdad, Miss? Ahorita vamos con Miss Zuli, ¿verdad?
Exactamente, muchísimas gracias, Miss Pamelita. Ya lo están colocando también en los comentarios en YouTube. Está ya ahí fijado, lo pueden verificar, por favor, simplemente le hacen clic ahí. Recuerden respetar siempre mayúsculas, minúsculas, ¿ok? En ETiP, English Teachers in Peru, son nuestras siglas, la I siempre en minúscula y fourth, 4TH, así termina el link. Ya está también en los comentarios, repito. Bien, pasamos ahora con... Ok, thank you. Pasamos ahora con Miss Zuli, Sulamita Chukden. Miss Zuli, are you there? Vamos a ver la invitación para la próxima semana. ¿Qué tenemos, Miss Zuli?
Gracias, Miss Mari. Buenas noches, estimados colegas. Sí, justamente queríamos invitarles para que nos sigan acompañando en nuestros webinars la próxima semana. Y como ya sabemos, tenemos estos dos temas muy interesantes para la próxima semana. Para el día viernes tenemos como invitado a Juan Andrés Ramírez. That topic is an easy way to use TTRS in the classroom with Google Sheets and Bitmoji. Y para el día sábado también tenemos una invitada especial, Ana María Hurtado, con el tema How can teachers support students EFL reading development? Estos temas son muy interesantes, así que todos están invitados, no se lo pierdan, ya desde antemano vayamos agendándolo. Los esperamos la próxima semana.
Muchas gracias, Miss Zuli. Recordemos que tenemos los viernes digitales a las 7 de la noche, que empezamos el fin de semana, como ya lo dijo Miss Zuli, con Juan Andrés. Vamos a ver cómo trabajar reading, storytelling, con ejemplos, usando Google Sheets, presentaciones y usando Bitmoji. Muchos de los teachers ya lo están usando. Creo que es bastante dinámico también y engancha bastante a los estudiantes. Justo hoy día nos hablaba Michael de las diferentes estrategias que utilizamos y creo que esa es una de ellas dentro de todas las que nos ha presentado hoy día nuestro excelente ponente. Y Anita, la próxima semana, Miss Ana María Hurtado, realmente una ponente con una trayectoria excepcional que va a compartir con nosotros un tema sobre metodología muy importante, considerado en el temario de Minedu y que tenemos que atender. Así que recomendadísimos ambos webinars para la próxima semana. Y ahora sí, queridos teachers, agradecemos a todos una vez más el haberse conectado y a todo el equipo administrativo. Aquí están todos los corazones, los administradores que están detrás de la organización de estos webinars gratuitos, que por supuesto no serían posibles sin el apoyo de excelentes ponentes como el día de hoy ha estado con nosotros Michael Navarro, quienes comparten todos sus conocimientos con nosotros. Queridos English teachers, encendemos las camaritas, Miss Zully, Miss Pame, Miss Yuli, para poder despedirnos, no sin antes repetir el agradecimiento. Querido Michael, muchísimas gracias por todo lo compartido el día de hoy. Gracias por siempre estar con esa disposición a compartir todo lo que sabes, por ese dinamismo que siempre te caracteriza, por esa buena vibra que siempre, creo yo, todos los docentes percibimos de ti. Muchísimas gracias y esperemos que siempre tengas un espacio, un tiempito pequeñito en tu corazón para nuestra comunidad English Teachers in Perú.
Por supuesto, claro que sí, y agradecerlo totalmente a la comunidad, a todos los participantes, y qué bueno, la verdad, que les haya gustado mucho la ponencia, y a seguir practicando. Tenemos que recordar que somos profesores que nunca dejamos de aprender, siempre estamos en constante formación, y nada, desearles los mejores éxitos para todos.
Querido Michael, han estado preguntando si les puedes decir el nombre de tu página, por favor, para que te sigan.
Ok, perfecto. A ver, vamos a ver acá. Sí. El nombre de mi página es English with Michael. Me pueden contactar, bueno, por la página que lo ven acá, es English with Michael here. And you can contact me through my social media. You have my number, email, LinkedIn. It's a good way to connect. I love using LinkedIn to share teaching tips and ideas, and my Facebook page. I always talk about English topics, right? And that's it. Yes.
An interesting post.
Yes.
Ya, soy testigo de ello. Bien, ahora sí nos despedimos, querido Michael, queridos administradores, con hoy día ustedes, Miss Pamela Salazar, Miss Sulamita Chupden, Miss Julia Millones Espinosa, Miss Yuli de cariño siempre le decimos, y nuestro querido ponente Michael Navarro. Detrás de toda la transmisión, como siempre apoyando, Mr. José Ortega Cerruto. Bye bye, teachers.